This video is sponsored by Pixel Empire. If you're interested in decorating your room or office with some super cool gaming and movie-themed posters and art, check the link in the description below and use code ROBOKAST for 10% off your order. Taking a look back, it seems like web-based MMOs are pretty much a thing of the past. There are very few of them up and running, and Flash games in general are pretty much on their way out. I mean, the only ones that I can even think of that are still up and running are... Wait, hold on. There is no way this game is still around. It's been out for like 27 years. Anyways, newer games can try, but nothing will ever compare to the web-based MMOs that were popular around 5 to 10 years ago. They were a classic experience, and with many of them being gone, it feels like a big part of my childhood has just disappeared. Games like Toontown Online, Club Penguin, and YoVille on Facebook were games that I spent a countless amount of time playing when I was younger, and I loved every second of them. But as time has gone on, I have forgotten about many of these games, and have really only paid attention to the bigger ones that everyone reminisces on from time to time. In the back of my mind, I've always known that there was one of these games that I played and haven't really thought about in recent years. It took some digging, but I eventually realized that the game I'm thinking of is Pirates of the Caribbean Online. Pirates Online was another web MMO developed by Disney Interactive, the people behind Toontown Online, Club Penguin, and later Pixie Hollow. The game had a ton of potential, and players really loved it. But like many other Disney MMOs, the community experienced some hard times, and the game eventually shut down. We're going to be covering what led to this shutdown and more in today's video, Why Pirates of the Caribbean Online Failed. After the initial Pirates of the Caribbean movie, The Curse of the Black Pearl, Disney saw the potential that was held in this franchise. In fact, the movies were based off of the Disney ride of the same name, and parts of this ride was designed by Walt Disney himself. So, when the first movie grossed over $634 million in the box office, it is no surprise that Disney wanted to capitalize on the success of this movie. They did this with a new project, and this project was known as Pirates of the Caribbean Online. Pirates Online was announced by Disney on April 26 of 2005. As stated in an interview by Ken Goldstein, who was the managing director of Disney Online at the time, we have learned through our experience with Toontown that the market for massively multiplayer online role-playing games can indeed reach beyond traditional gamers. And even though there wasn't very much information about the game at the time, fans of the series and of Disney web MMOs were excited to see what would become of this game. The game was set to launch alongside the second movie in the franchise, Dead Man's Chest, in summer of 2006. Also, at this time, an informational website was launched known as pirateslegend.com, and it provided a registration service to sign up for updates and launch information. Now, if you go to this website today, you can find a mix of strange DIY pirate-themed crafts, and absolutely nothing about the old Pirates game. And the site is still owned by Disney, but this is something that I found pretty interesting. Anyways, everything was on track with the 2006 release of the game, for a while at least. But in April of 2006, the company announced that the release date would have to be delayed because of some progress that needed to be made. Thus, the release date was moved back to the release of the third Pirates movie instead of the second one. The following month, in May of 2006, more information was given about the game at E3. It was revealed that the target audience were young teens, but that Disney was pushing for experiences where the whole family could play. They also released a fairly impressive trailer that worked to make young RoboCast really want to play this game. Now, this was nowhere near as effective as the Toontown trailers were for me, but I do have to say, it made me feel cool just by watching it, and I wanted to play it instantly. At the end of the trailer, they pushed a release date of spring 2007, and the excitement was once again official now that there was a set release date. In order to keep players updated, a newsletter was created for people who were interested. There was a decent amount of information in these newsletters, including videos known as insiders that showed off some secret stuff from the development process. In an interview by IGN in March of 2007, even more was learned about what the game would entail. It was revealed that the revenue model was going to be similar to Toontown, with a free-to-play basic aspect for people who didn't want to pay the money, and an access package for people who wanted extra perks. Around 1/3 of the game would be available for the free access people, and the paid members would get the other 2/3. Also, players with the free package would be displayed banner ads, while premium members would not have to see these. Furthermore, this interview told players that there would be an extensive customization system, so that the world could have a diverse group of pirates. And looking back, I do have to say that the customization in Pirates Online ended up being pretty good for the type of game being made and the time in which it came out. Honestly, I'm still pretty impressed today. This was exciting, but to the disappointment of many people, the game was delayed again on June 6 of 2007, and the release date was moved back to fall of that year. However, there were some open betas that came out around this time, and it really helped to keep the excitement going for what would come in the future. As 2007 progressed, launch day came closer and closer, and Pirates of the Caribbean Online released on October 31st, 2007. The revenue model was very similar to what Disney had described, with players being able to play some of the game for free and a premium subscription service for $9.95 a month. It received a Metacritic score of 60% upon launch, and there were lots of complaints about various bugs and issues in the game. Plus, many users also complained about the surprising fact that there was a cap at level 8. Once they hit this level, pop-ups would constantly appear telling them that in order to level up further, they needed to purchase the premium plan. Now, I've been playing the remastered fan version of this game in order to get footage for this video, and I have to say, level 8 is not very high. I actually managed to hit that level in one single sitting of only a few hours, so it comes as no surprise to see that people were pretty irritated by this. In fact, fans of the game were irritated for a lot of reasons, and not all of them were because of Pirates Online itself. Around the time of launch, Disney had also acquired Club Penguin for $350 million. With such an expensive acquisition, it is not surprising that Disney Interactive began to put a lot of their resources into this new world. Longtime players of Toontown and new players of Pirates Online both felt as if their games were being neglected, while Disney shifted their focus into the up-and-coming Club Penguin. And while this wasn't an extremely terrible situation, it was one that got much worse over time. Overall, however, people seemed to genuinely enjoy the game. It was a fun experience, and it felt much different than any other Disney MMOs that I played growing up. The writing was fairly decent, the gameplay was fun, and it felt like you had full control over everything you decided to do. It felt like a truly open world game. You could go out and fight ships with your friends, grind enemies in higher level areas, or play through and complete fairly interesting quests. They tried to create a story and it was okay, but I don't really think many people paid much attention to it. The remainder of 2007 was a time for bugs to be fixed and small issues to be ironed out, so there weren't any major updates during this time. But in February of 2008, the first real update would come to the game. During this time, the team at Disney Interactive introduced more player customization with the addition of jewelers, barbers, tailors, and tattoo parlors. I feel as if Disney did a great job with customization in this game, and this update made that even better. Then, in April of 2008, another big update was added, this time with tons of new quests, and it really helped to expand the game quite drastically. These updates were fairly frequent, and it seemed like Disney Interactive did a good job at keeping the game updated, for a while at least. As time went on, Club Penguin would begin to overshadow all of the other Disney MMOs. Updates slowed down for Toontown and Pirates Online, and by 2010, it was quite obvious that Disney's main focus was still Club Penguin. I mean, take a look at these update notes. Comparing the ones for 2008 and 2009 to this year, 2010, you can see that Disney really slowed down quite drastically. In 2011, Disney decided to open another MMO, and this one was known as Pixie Hollow. With resources spread thin between all of these different games, people began to question if Disney can keep them all up and running, and they reassured that they could. But even with this reassurance, players began to doubt the intentions of Disney. During this year, Pirates Online barely saw any new content added, and players began to get bored with what they had. People began to complain to Disney that the game was being neglected, and that Club Penguin was all they cared about. This is around the time when Club Penguin began to have countless TV shows and books and all types of stuff related to the game, all while Pirates Online was left in the dust. Player counts dropped and people began to get fed up with Disney Interactive, and the situation only got worse. After this, Disney began to shift even more of their resources onto their new, super profitable project known as Disney Infinity. This was a $100 million project, and it took even more resources away from the MMOs that were running at the time. Moving on to March of 2013, the amount of servers for the game was reduced to 15 to bring the players together, quote-unquote, moving forward. These words came as a big red flag for many, especially with the development of Disney Infinity going on at this time as well. The red flag came true when, in August of 2013, Disney announced that all other MMOs besides Club Penguin would be closing. This included Pirates Online, Toontown Online, and the recently opened Pixie Hollow. But the truth is, this came as no surprise to many because it was quite obvious that there was a decent amount of neglect for all non-Club Penguin titles. The announcement was given on August 20th, 2013 by Disney Interactive, and they stated, "Pirates of the Caribbean Online will be closing on September 19th, 2013. From now until then, all pirates can log on to Pirates Online and enjoy full unlimited access for free. How exciting. So, Pirates Online had one final month left, and it was a sad time for longtime players of the game. They weren't sad about the fact that they were losing the game, but rather losing their friends. Online friendships that were built over a 5-year period would become distant memories, and some of these people would never be able to enjoy time with these friends ever again. The emotions in the community varied quite drastically. Some of them were sad for losing the game, or thankful for the time that they had spent on the game, but many were upset. Upset about the fact that Disney shifted their focus away from what people truly love, and instead decided to go on to more profitable projects like Disney Infinity, which ended up failing drastically. Pirates Online wasn't just a game, it was an active community of people who felt like a family. It may not make sense to some of you, but if you've ever been part of a community like this, you'll understand where I'm coming from when I say that stuff like this sucks. On September 19th, 2013, Pirates Online had its final moments. Players gathered together in one final effort to say goodbye, and just like that, the servers had been closed and everything was gone. But I'm not going to let this story end on a bad note. Directly after the closing, longtime fans of the game began figuring out a way to reopen a fan-made version of Pirates Online. Pirates Online Rewritten was started, and it would merge with another fan-made game known as The Legend of Pirates Online in 2015. Today, this game can still be played, and it was actually how I got most of the footage for this video. It's always cool to see fan-made versions of games that have closed because it shows how much passion people had for this community. I do have to say, it was an amazing community, and I'm glad that I was able to be a part of it for a while. And the truth is, games like this are a part of my childhood, and I don't think I would be as involved with gaming as I am today if I didn't play these games. You want to know what else was a part of my childhood? Art. Just kidding, I have no artistic ability. But you know where I can find my fair share of someone else's artistic ability online to decorate my room with amazing gaming art? Pixel Empire. This website was kind enough to sponsor this video, and I have to say, they are an amazing company. If you're interested, they sell tons of gaming art, posters, phone cases, t-shirts, and a lot more. As I've said in countless other videos, well, actually 3, I do in fact own stuff by them, so I stand behind what they sell. I mean, this canvas is actually hanging on my wall as we speak. If you guys are interested in checking out their website, I will put a link in the description below, and if you use code robokast at checkout, you can get 10% off of your order and support the channel. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any thoughts about Pirates Online or any stories that happened to you while you used to play the game, feel free to leave them in the comments below along with suggestions for other videos. I hope you guys enjoyed, I will see you guys next time, and peace.